Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Tom Schmidt, the new CEO of Vive, and I wanted to welcome you to our first Leadership Circle call. One of the new programs that we're putting in place is to create a leadership circle of the top leaders in our network. The kind of dual purpose of doing that, one is to help advise me and the new ownership group and management team on how we can make life better for our network so that we can help it grow, but also to help provide guidance to everybody in the network and sort of facilitate that. So tonight we have Traci and Paul Akins, we have Shawn Mills, we have Kevin Marino, and we have Henry Vigeant. How do you say that, Henry?
It's Vigeant, Tom.
Vigeant. So I've seen his name and written his name several times, but I've never heard it spoken. So it's a good group on here. I want to let them. I'm going to kind of hand the meeting over to them and let them tell you a little bit about their background, why they're in Vive, and what gets them excited about this opportunity. Why don't we go ahead and start with Traci and Paul? We'll get two birds with one stone.
You always get a twofer with us. You very rarely see us sepaperly, and it's always Traci and Paul because ladies first. So
oh, that's right.
So
I was going left to right on my screen. So.
Well, every once in a while I mess up and say Paul and Traci, and I get the dagger eye. I say, "Come on,
it happens to the best of us."
So she's the real boss. She's the CEO of our little company here. But I'll let Traci start by telling you, how long we've been in and what we loved about it, why we got in to begin with.
Okay. So we've been in since February of 2018.
Yeah.
So pretty much from day one. And when we were presented with what Vive has to offer, it really resonated with who we are. We come from, Paul comes from a corporate background, but I come from a volunteering background. I've been in Girl Scouts for 18 plus years. Volunteering is a part of my heart, and giving back and helping people in that manner is what, fills my soul. And when we were presented with what Vive has to offer to our family and friends and to our community, I was definitely all on board. It's about helping, to me, right back down to the family level. And that's what matters. And what about for you, babe?
Oh, and so coming from, having been in corporate for most of my life. I started as a field guy working in the security industry and worked up through management. When you're presented with the opportunity to provide a service to somebody that they don't have to pay for until after they get results, to me, that was, kind of what locked it in. The heart of volunteering and making a difference was huge, but the business opportunity of providing a service that people don't pay for up front. I can actually ask people to become a customer and not have to ask them for any money. Why wouldn't I be involved in that? And we have seen over the past 3 years just the huge impact that we're able to make with that. And it's anywhere from saving, a family a few $100 over the course of a year that might mean, that they can go out to eat once or twice more than they planned on. But in our case, we have some pretty large commercial clients who we've saved hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I know from working in corporate that amount of money to the bottom line of a company could mean somebody not losing a job. It could mean raises or bonuses. Yeah. So, the combination of the business opportunity and, the impact that we're able to make and being able to give back has just been amazing for us to be a part of.
You bet. Good stuff. Shawn Mills, you want to talk?
Obviously, you don't know me. You said, do you want to talk? And that's, anybody knows me knows I got no problem with talking. So, but yeah, Shawn Mills, background a little bit, business ownership. We own a sports park just north of Virginia, 8 baseball fields and a indoor training facility, baseball and softball, a little bit of basketball too. We also own an energy brokerage up in the DC, Maryland, Baltimore area. And then we have a temperament therapy and Christian counseling practice as well. So a lot of stuff going on when I got involved with Vive, which I think I'm the new kid on the block. While I've been in this type of industry with different companies for 25 years, mainly with one large company. I'm the new kid on the block as far as when I get registered. I got registered right before Christmas this past year. So I've been around, what, 8 months or something. And really, I didn't start until beginning of January, actually talking to people and everything. But yeah, I got interested because of who invited me. Okay, people I respect, the Kenny brothers, just love those guys and respect at the highest level. And when they called me and said, will you take a look, you know, I really wasn't looking to make some more money or do something like this. But out of respect for them, I took an honest look. And then when I saw, like, kind of what Paul was talking about, how, you know, there are no victims here, right? You don't have to try to sell something to somebody that they weren't looking to buy or didn't even know that they needed or maybe don't need. I don't have to try to talk somebody into something like that. When I saw that, I was like, you know what? I love the community that this type of business creates. Okay. I've always been drawn to that. And I didn't like the part where you have to try to, I mean, you know, sell something to somebody that they didn't need or want, right? I didn't like that part. When I saw this, I was like, you know what? This marries both those things. I don't have to sell something to people that they weren't looking for. And I can develop that type of community with my upline, downline, and my crossline. I was like, how can I lose here? And I just got excited about it and started talking to everybody that I possibly could. And it's kind of amazing when people know they can't pay anything unless, you know, they don't pay us anything unless we find them money first, right? So if we find them $10, they pay us $5. That's a pretty good deal. So that's what happened with me. And like I said, started in January, and it was kind of Katie bar the door from the get-go.
Great story. Love it. Love it. Kevin Marino, tell us a little about yourself and your experience with Vive so far.
Well, I appreciate the invite, Tom. I've been around for a little bit, a few decades, doing network marketing, and have been through everything from, you know, pills, lotions, and potions. And I decided that's not really what I cared for. And I got into services, and I've done services for the last couple decades. And then, you know, it's always been I always look for something that's good value for people. That, to me, that's the way to really do the network marketing side of it. Is if you bring a good value, then you're never worrying about, you know, am I putting them out? Am I putting them in a position where, you know, they're buying this as opposed to putting food on the table? You know, especially when they're getting started. So when you're offering a service, something that they need, something that they have to use, and it's at a good value, and then so that being a philosophy for a number of years, and then ending up seeing what had been put together for Vive and the opportunity to be able to take services now to a whole nother level and bring their costs down on across multiple fronts. I mean, that was exciting to me. And so that's why I got involved with Vive. And in all honesty, I thought we'd be, you know, just exploding, but I mean, obviously, you know, more people are starting to, you know, buy onto the fact that, hey, maybe I should actually save some money in these crazy times out there. So we're hoping on that. Also love the fact that, you know, since you're at the helm now, you bring to the table other products, other services that we can put in front of people. So I love the fact that, you know, I did electricity for many, many years. So when you do electricity, it's one person, one bill. And now, I mean, with Vive, it's always been one person, average of about 3 bills. Now, with additional services being able to be brought to the table, you know, maybe now we can get one person, a few bills, and a couple services. So it's always easier to expand your offerings to the one person who already likes you, and you're already putting money in their pocket, as opposed to going out and getting a new customer. You know, that. It's almost like it's a resale to a current customer, even though you're really not selling them anything. You're just giving them another service to actually save them more money. So very excited with that. And I know you bring a lot to the table, and I'm hoping that you will really invigorate the troops here with some of the new things that you have ready to infuse into the business. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, that's a big part of our plan, is to bring in new policies and procedures that help everybody, and then bring in more products make it easier for folks to enroll consultants and bring in customers. Now, Kevin, you're a gold partner, is that right?
I believe so, yes.
And how long have you been at Vive or with Vive?
A little over 2 years.
And, you know, ballpark, do you know how many folks are in your organization?
I actually don't at the moment.
Okay. I mean,
one of the things that we concentrate on is we look for who's going to build, what are they doing, how do we get them started, and then how do we do the next person. It's never really been about how many people do I have, how many of this. It's really, to me, we look at the savings number. I mean, our savings number was crazy high. I mean, it was just we like just saving people money and just helping people make money along the way. I mean, if you combine those two, I think it's a winning combo.
So someone told me once that there are two character traits that separate someone who's just an average salesperson from someone who's a great salesperson. The research came back and said to be a great superstar salesperson, you got to have two things. You got to have what they call rejection armor, which means you're comfortable knocking on 100 doors and hearing 100 no's, and you'll still get up the next morning and go knock on more doors.
Right.
And then the second thing, which is probably more important, is empathy, that you have to actually care about your customers, care that you're delivering to them a product that's beneficial to them, that's going to improve their life in some way. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's comfort, maybe it's removing frustrations, that sort of thing. And it sounds like really that's what you're focusing on is as long as you keep your eye on the ball, that what I want to do is I want to go out and save people money, then it's going to be that much easier for me to build an organization, bring in more people, and save more people money. Is that basically what I'm hearing?
That's definitely a big part of it. And a lot of times people say to us, well, you know, how do you get in the door? How do you make the sale? I go, you're not selling them anything. You're actually showing them how to keep more of their money, and they don't pay the company anything unless we do it. So, and along the line of the other one you said, people have said, well, what's the difference between you and me? Why have you done what you have done and I'm only where I am? I said, because I've heard no over 10,000 times and I don't care. And that's really the whole, especially now. I mean, if someone says no to me, I go, okay. I kind of give them a little odd look, because to me, it's like I'm offering you a free opportunity to save money. It's like, all right, if I find a $20 bill on the ground and I give you 10 of it, if I split it into 2 10s, I mean, would you be okay with me keep giving you $10? And some people say no. Well, you can't help that. You just got to keep moving on.
Yeah. I talk all the time about it. I don't know if y'all have ever seen the little vignettes like on maybe the Tonight Show or something, where they send someone into Times Square in New York City and try to hand out $100 bills. It is hard. People are like, no, stay away from me. I don't know. I don't know what that is. What's the catch? You know, that people literally, you can't hand them free money because they're so afraid of, you know, what the implications are. So that's always going to be an issue. So, I mean, let's go back to that question that you said people have asked you before. Like, you know, what would you say is the difference between your level of success in reaching gold partner versus folks who haven't done that yet?
It's really talking to a certain amount of people, and we have kind of when we were really focused on going after the folks, it's a matter of reaching out to a certain amount on a daily basis. And we set a minimum, and if you go over the minimum, great. But if you don't, at least hit the minimum on a daily basis. Also working in there, you have to, you know, because sometimes people say, oh, I can connect with 50 people a day. Well, you can if you're never going to do follow-up and you're never going to help anybody else on your team. So right. You may be able to do that out of the gate in the first week, but after that first week, 10 to 20 on a daily basis is a really good number to work on, because that's a manageable number. Setting the correct expectations, not just for others, but for yourself, is incredibly important, because if you can't live up to your own expectations, if you put numbers out. Now, when we put goals, so trust me, when we put goals, we put stupid goals. I mean, they're just ridiculous. But when we sit down and we put our numbers for a daily method of operation, we go out there and hit the numbers. They're realistic because we want to hit them every single day. We'll exceed them where we can, but we want to make sure, even if we're traveling, because we do a lot of traveling and training and visiting and doing a lot of different things, we want to make sure that even when we're doing that, we can hit our numbers on a daily basis, because the consistency is important. It's not I call it the popcorn method. And because you can pop a bag of popcorn in 3.5 minutes. So if you think about it, and basically it's 210 seconds, but of consistent. So if you do 210 days of consistent activity, you're going to build one heck of a business.
You bet.
Where if you do it sporadically and you do a little bit of business, if you go back to the popcorn, you pop it 3 seconds today, you wait another week, you pop it another 3 seconds, wait another day, wait 5 seconds. That bag of popcorn in 10 years might have 1 or 2 pop kernels. Well, the same with your business. If you work it occasionally, you might have 1 or 2 customers down the road. So, but if you focus your time and energy in a consistent method, you will get a consistent response to it.
I like that. The popcorn method. Love it. Well, thanks, Kevin. Henry, tell us about yourself and your experience with Vive so far.
Sure, Tom. Put me after all those awesome leaders. No, I started. My story is similar to Kevin. I've been around the industry for quite some time, matter of fact, I've known Kevin for almost a decade now. 1995, I got started in a traditional network marketing company. It was a product-based company. And what I noticed, even though I was uneducated when I first started, I noticed that with hard work, you can have some level of success. But I noticed that most people were not having that success in that company. And they were purchasing all kinds of products. I remember going to people's homes and seeing stacks and stacks of products everywhere. Matter of fact, I was like, hey, can you loan me some, or can I buy some? I knew exactly where to go. And after about 9 or 10 years of that industry, I said, maybe it's time for me to look for something else, even though I like the idea of home-based business. Like Kevin, I moved into the services industry, went into telecom. I was doing long distance phone subscriptions and then cell phone, a network marketing company. Did very, very well 2008, 9, 10. Since then, I did a lot of training in between. And then over the last decade, I've always been in the top 5 to 1%. Now, I've been a full-time networker. I've been a master rep twice in a different solar network marketing company. And I was in the energy deregulation space, such as Kevin. And the thing about it is, I like the services, and some of those other companies were a little dry. There's a lot of, actually they called it the men's club mostly, right? When I heard about Vive, it was different, because certainly it wasn't just the men's club anymore. It was something that any person can do, and the ladies actually do much better than me. They talk to their friends and they get them started. Like Traci, she can get anybody as a customer. But for me, it was about opportunity I'm kind of like the recruiting side. I like building teams more than the retail sales side. So I looked at it like, I can have an enormous team going after customers. It's just my way of doing it, right? Certainly I can get customers. I have plenty of personal customers. And as Kevin said, we have over $2 million in savings just in our team alone. So we definitely have done our part. But what I really loved about Vive, and I still love about Vive, and it's something that I always cherished, is in all those other companies I talked about 2 decades ago, most people lost money. Even though they weren't earning money, they actually lost money. So every year they're spending thousands of dollars on product, and they weren't earning that money back. In Vive, every person that gets involved as an affiliate, or just say as a Vive consultant, instantaneously they're uploading their own bills. They're in the black. they instantly earn their money. It's a different paradigm altogether. So more and more people are earning money. If you have more and more people earning money, more and more people stick, more and more people get excited, more and more people will stay, and more people will grow. Right?
Absolutely.
So, as Kevin says, we're delighted to see some of the new products and services coming. We've been we've kind of been nurturing this business all the way up. I mean, when I spoke to Kevin the first time about this in end of 2018, early 2019, we knew we had a long haul. We had to develop a compensation plan. We had some amazing talks through the next year. We test marketed the product, and we found out the product was fantastic. That was a good thing, right? So now we had a sizzle product, something that's unique, that everybody wanted. We knew it was going to be a category creator, that it's going to take a little time for people to get used to, right? But once the majority started getting used to this product and started getting on, we knew the comp plan would catch up to the whole team. And so we're excited about moving forward. We're excited about the new products and the new corporate team. We're excited to help in every step of the way. And thank you for having us today.
Awesome. Thanks, Henry. Shawn Mills, I'm going to come back to you. So you heard Kevin and Henry, obviously they've had a ton of success. I know you're extremely successful, not only at Vive, but also in your other endeavors. What would you say is the number one thing that is a roadblock or a hurdle that new consultants in any network marketing company, but certainly at Vive, have to get over in order to get from the starting gate to a level of success?
It's a great question there. And I go back to something Kevin said about, he's talked to 10,000 people or he got 10,000 no's or something like that. I think, I don't even think, I know, I've seen it so much. People think that they have to have a certain amount of knowledge about how everything works before they go talk to someone. And I have never been that person. We have signed almost 6,000 commercial energy accounts in the DC Baltimore area. And I got started, I'm from the South, and the saying is, I didn't know my butt from a hole in the ground when it came to energy sales. And I literally printed something off the internet that I thought was a good piece of paper. I slid it onto a clipboard, and I just started walking down the street and going in every single shopping center, every little mom and pop place, and talking to people and asking them what their needs were. Like how could I help them? If they could design, a program that would help them weed through that space, what would they look for? And I just started going. And so many people, the what is it, the saying or whatever, it's ready, aim, fire, right? And so many people go ready, aim, 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 and they never pull the trigger. They never fire. And I think if people will just start firing and learn, pay attention. It's not throw mud up against the wall and see what sticks. Okay. I'm not that guy. I think it's targeted, specific action. Pay attention. Every interaction that I come away with, especially when I'm doing something for the first few times, I write down 3 things that I think went spectacular and 3 things that I could have done better. Every single time.
Learn from your mistakes.
I don't write down 3 things that went wrong. That's the wrong mindset. Okay. I do 3 things I think could have done better. And I think if people will do that, you can't even talk to 10 people without figuring out what it is that you need to be doing. And on person number 11, it's like you've been doing it your whole life. But when you're constantly aiming, and maybe I think Kevin mentioned this, maybe it was Henry, just talk to one person now. There's the popcorn deal, right? One person here, and then you talk to anybody else for another 2 weeks or something. You can't get good at that. Back to the energy space where I would hire people, I would tell them, you got to go talk to 30 people every single day, or there's no sense of coming to work. So if you're not talking to 30 people a day, now, you do that for 3 or 4 days, you don't have to do it on day number 5, right. But you've got to be willing to do that. So it's just stepping out of your comfort zone, talking to more people than you ever thought you would need to, taking notes. What can you do better? What went well? What could I have done better? Try, fail, and adjust. Just more people.
Try, fail, and adjust. I love that. That's was it guys like Thomas Edison and Thomas Jefferson and incredibly successful people, say over and over again, if you aren't willing to go out and try and make mistakes, you're very unlikely to learn anything, number one, and number two, you're never going to be successful. And it's something that I certainly take to heart, and I encourage everybody at Vive to do the same thing. Listen, make some phone calls, send some emails, send some Facebook posts. You're going to fall flat on your face a lot of times. You're going to call somebody, they're going to say, oh, don't talk to me about that. But you can't let that get you down. You got to figure out, well, maybe if I change my approach a little bit, how could I have done that better and learn from it? But I think the number one theme that I'm hearing from all of you guys tonight is, just take some action. Start, make a goal. Say, listen, tomorrow I'm going to contact 5 people. Then the next day, say I'm going to contact 10 people. And then maybe you get to 30 people a day. Or you can also do it the other way. Set your goals very high. As Kevin said, ridiculous goals, and then work towards them over time, and you'll find that you're very successful. But at the end of the day, the opportunity here is enormous. I was on a couple of phone calls today involving commercial issues, and we have a new partner that came in through the network that they're focusing on reaching commercial customers. And so we were talking about the amount of money that can be made there. And, this company saved one client $800,000, and that savings triggers bonuses through the network. So for all you sign up 3 new consultants in the next 3 weeks, and then one of them signs up another consultant, and that guy enrolls another consultant below him, and then that person goes out and brings in 5 large commercial customers, and a lot of money flows up through that line. And so if you don't get out there and talk to people, if you don't get out there and spread the word about the opportunity, you're not going to get the benefit of those opportunities and the results that come from it. The other thing is, you're going to hear this from me 1,000 times, but one of my themes is each of you has a customer base. You might have one customer, maybe it's just you, but you have a customer base, and you need to grow that customer base. And then over time, my job will be to help you make more money over time from that same customer base. And that's how I look at it is everyone at the company who's a customer is part of the company's customer base, and my job is to make them more valuable. So, but if you don't get out there and start bringing in customers and cultivate them and train your consultants and get them excited and get them pumped up so that your network isn't growing, you're going to miss out on the opportunity to do all these great things that we're going to bring to the company. With that, we're going to shut it down in a minute, but I thought I'd let Traci and Paul have one more bite at the apple here.
What do you want to talk about, babe?
I just want to remember, I have everyone remember, several people have talked about what you're going to do for your daily method of operation. One of the things is definitely be consistent in what you're doing. And Kevin talked about that. Make sure you have a set number of who you're going to reach out to, whether it's a customer or a consultant. I've been saying for months, pay attention to your 3 Ps. Have posture in yourself and know that what we have to offer to our friends and family in our community is valuable. Have posture and belief in our company and know that we're going to make a difference in our communities. Be patient with yourself. There's going to be a learning curve. There's also going to be the ability to accept no's. For some reason, we have a hard time accepting a no, and it's not, it's really not something that's going to end your life. So have patience with yourself and the process, because it's going to take a little bit of time. And be persistent. Be persistent in what you're going to do. That follow-up with someone is key. It took me 6 months for one customer to get their bills in the system, and I have another customer that it took me 9 months. It's just being consistent, and every conversation doesn't have to be about the savings or the business. You're just keeping your relationship going. So to me, what we have to offer is about creating a good, solid foundation in your relationship and offering something to help make a difference.
Very good stuff. So
Great stuff.
quick tip from me is this can be a part-time business. So I have a full-time day job. Traci is a full-time mom, volunteer, but other than that, Viv is all, she doesn't do it full-time, but Viv is all she does for employment. But I carve out 15-minute blocks. So I don't always have an hour that I can give to Viv, but if you can carve out 10, 15 minutes, my Calendly is broken up into 15-minute blocks. I can do 4 appointments on my lunch hour if I have to. And I'll do 4 15-minute appointments between dinner and this meeting tonight. So 15 minutes consistently, if you can carve out 4 to 6 15-minute blocks a day, you can be successful in this business if you're consistent with your daily method of operation.
You bet.
And I know the one other thing that we're both looking to hear more about, and I think we may hear about it on our Let's Go event, is where's the next one at a time trip? Because that's one of the things. Traci holds the record as the only Viv consultant to be on every one at a time.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, we are going to announce that on Saturday, September 11th at the Let's Go event. Well, guys, listen, that was incredibly inspiring. I appreciate all of you coming in and talking. Before we disconnect, I want to remind everybody that Paul has graciously agreed to do an overview presentation on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Is that right?
You got it.
And then Kevin's also agreed to do one on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern for those folks that want to do it a little bit later in the evening. And that starts tomorrow. So everybody get, a couple prospects. Well, Kevin, yours is Wednesday.
Me tomorrow, right? You Wednesday.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Just to be clear. And so, get some prospects, get them on that call tomorrow, and then again on Wednesday, and let's make a lot of progress. Remember, there's a pretty awesome contest to qualify for the September 10th private conference with me and the team. And, one lucky winner is going to get 2 round-trip airfare tickets anywhere in the continental United States. So make sure you look up, if you haven't already, what the qualification requirements are for that. And I look forward to seeing all you guys at that event on September 10th and then again on September 11th. And with that, we'll sign off.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
Tom.
Have a great
Thanks,
night.
everyone.
Okay, everybody.
Bye, everybody.